On April 22, 2025, the tranquil meadows of Baisaran near Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir were shattered by a sudden, brutal terrorist attack. What was once a haven for nature lovers and pilgrims alike became the site of unimaginable violence, forever altering the peaceful reputation of this beloved destination. 3 heavily armed men, blending into the crowd before unleashing chaos, targeted innocent tourists. In a matter of minutes, a place known for serenity and joy was transformed into a scene of horror and panic as families and friends were torn apart by senseless violence. The attackers moved with chilling precision, deliberately seeking out civilians to maximize terror. Their actions were calculated, leaving little doubt that their sole aim was to inflict as much pain and fear as possible, not just on those present, but on the entire nation. Pahalgam, a symbol of hope, pilgrimage, and unity, was chosen for its significance. The message was clear. Nowhere was safe, not even the most sacred or peaceful of places. The attack sent shockwaves far beyond the valley, shaking the collective sense of security across India. 26 people lost their lives, 25 Indian tourists and 1 Nepali national, making it the deadliest civilian attack since Mumbai 2008. Dozens more were injured, and the trauma of that day would haunt survivors and witnesses for years to come. The Resistance Front, a Lashkar-e-Taiba proxy, quickly claimed responsibility. Yet, investigators noted the operation bore all the hallmarks of cross-border terror, with sophisticated planning and execution pointing to a larger network at play. As the nation mourned, grief turned into anger and a unified call for justice. Vigils were held across the country, and people from all walks of life came together, demanding answers and accountability, setting the stage for an unprecedented response. The Pahalgam massacre would become a turning point in India's fight against terrorism, galvanizing the nation and its leaders to take decisive action in the face of such brutality. Survivors described, in trembling voices, how the terrorists methodically singled out their victims, moving from person to person with chilling precision and cold intent. The attackers often demanded to know their religion before executing them, turning a place of peace into a site of terror and division. The lush green meadows, once echoing with laughter and joy, became a killing field in an instant, where families were torn apart in seconds, and the land itself seemed to mourn. Children, some too young to understand, witnessed the murder of their parents. Parents, powerless, saw the loss of their children. The trauma etched itself into their memories forever. What began as a joyful holiday ended in unimaginable tragedy, with shoes, bags and toys scattered among the bodies, a haunting reminder of lives interrupted. The psychological trauma extended far beyond the immediate victims. Locals, who had always prided themselves on their warmth and hospitality, were left devastated and shaken to their core. The attack aimed to destroy trust, cripple tourism, and plunge the region back into fear. Once bustling tourist spots fell silent, livelihoods shattered overnight. Across India, scenes of grief played out as the bodies returned home. Communities gathered in candlelight vigils, united in mourning and disbelief at the scale of the loss. The names of the 26 victims became symbols of innocence lost, their photographs and stories etched into the nation's collective memory. The massacre left scars that would haunt Kashmir and the country for years to come, a tragedy that changed countless lives and cast a long shadow over the valley's future. In the aftermath, India's security forces launched a massive coordinated manhunt. The Army, CRPF, Jammu and Kashmir Police, and Intelligence Bureau pooled resources and intelligence. Forensic teams combed the crime scene, collecting crucial evidence like spent bullet casings. The National Investigation Agency, NIA, interviewed over 1,000 witnesses, piecing together the attackers' movements. Human intelligence networks were activated, seeking any clue about the terrorists' whereabouts. The Army and CRPF sealed off South Kashmir, while the Intelligence Bureau intercepted communications. Composite sketches of the suspects were created and circulated. Every agency played a vital role, weaving a unified net to catch the killers. The nation waited anxiously for a breakthrough. The first breakthrough came 2 months later with the arrest of Parvez and Bashir Ahmad Yothar, who had harbored the terrorists. Their interrogation led to detailed sketches and the identification of the attackers, Sulaiman Shah Hamza Afghan and Gibran Pai, Pakistani nationals sent to target civilians. The trio vanished into the mountains after the attack, evading capture for weeks. Security forces deployed advanced surveillance, but the rugged terrain made tracking difficult. The real progress came from relentless ground patrols and a crucial tip-off about their location in the Dachigam range. Over 2 months, intelligence was painstakingly verified. On July 22nd, army sensors detected movement matching the terrorists' pattern. The net was closing in. The faces of evil now had names and a hiding place. The stage was set for a final confrontation. With the terrorists' location finally confirmed after days of relentless intelligence gathering, security forces launched Operation Mahadev, a mission spearheaded by the elite 4 para-special forces. The stakes were high, and every detail was meticulously planned to ensure success in the unforgiving mountain terrain. Supported by the CRPF and local police, the operation became a true display of interagency coordination. The plan was clear: surround the area, isolate the terrorists, and eliminate the killers before they could escape or inflict further harm on civilians. As night fell, commandos began their ascent under the cover of darkness, moving silently and swiftly. Navigating treacherous rocky slopes and dense undergrowth, they established a tight cordon, cutting off every possible escape route. At the break of dawn, the terrorists, now cornered and holed up in a remote cave, were given a final chance to surrender. Security forces called out with a megaphone, urging them to lay down their arms, but the only response was a hail of gunfire. A fierce and prolonged firefight erupted, echoing through the silent mountains for hours. The sound of gunshots reverberated across the valley as both sides exchanged heavy fire in the rugged landscape. Using advanced tactical maneuvers and hand signals, the commandos steadily closed in on the hideout, minimizing their own risk while tightening the noose around the terrorists. In a final coordinated push, the special forces stormed the cave entrance, breaching the rocky hideout with precision and overwhelming force. The battle was intense but ultimately brief. All 3 terrorists were neutralized, and the area was quickly secured by the advancing soldiers. Operation Mahadev was declared a resounding success, fulfilling the nation's promise of justice and restoring a sense of security to the region. The bravery and determination of the forces were widely celebrated. 97 days after the brutal massacre, the killers were finally brought to justice, marking the end of a long and painful chapter for the community. Closure at last for a grieving nation, honoring the fallen and reaffirming the country's resolve to stand united against terror. After Operation Mahadev, investigators focused on irrefutably linking the slain terrorists to the Pahalgam attack. Weapons recovered, an M4 carbine and 2 AK-47s, were sent for forensic analysis. Ballistic tests confirmed the guns matched bullets from the massacre site. This scientific proof, combined with witness identification by the Jothar brothers, created an airtight case. Even the Jothar brothers' mother identified the bodies, adding another layer of certainty. The evidence left no room for doubt. These men were the Pahalgam killers. The professionalism of India's agencies ensured the truth was undeniable. Justice was not just served, it was proven beyond question. The items found on the terrorists' bodies provided damning proof of their Pakistani origins. Pakistani voter ID cards and locally manufactured goods left no doubt about their cross-border links. The advanced weaponry, especially the US-made M4, pointed to state-sponsored terror. On July 29th, Home Minister Amit Shah presented the evidence in Parliament, directly accusing Pakistan of orchestrating the attack. The findings dismantled the narrative of homegrown insurgency, exposing foreign involvement. The proof was clear, tangible, and made public for the world to see. For India, this was about more than one attack. It was about exposing the root of decades-long conflict. The connection was now a matter of public record. The day after Operation Mahadev, Parliament became the stage for a new national security doctrine. Prime Minister Modi declared the era of strategic restraint over, promising decisive responses to any terror attack. He revealed that Pakistan had issued nuclear threats, but India refused to be intimidated. Home Minister Shah echoed this resolve, launching a political offensive against the opposition for past softness on terror. The government framed its new doctrine as a correction of historical wrongs, positioning itself as the true guardian of India's interests. Modi detailed his diplomatic outreach, emphasizing India's assertive new posture. No world leader had asked India to halt its operations, a stark contrast to the past. India was now setting its own terms on the global stage. The response to the Pahalgam attack marked a paradigm shift from decades of strategic restraint. Previous governments relied on diplomacy and avoided escalation, but critics called this weakness. Modi and Shah contrasted their actions with the past, arguing that restraint had emboldened Pakistan. The new doctrine is one of proactive muscular retribution, raising the cost of terror for the aggressor. Operation Mahadev and the subsequent Operation Sindoor, which targeted terror camps inside Pakistan, demonstrated this shift. India would no longer be confined to defense, but would strike at the source of terror. The aftermath of Pahalgam forged a new chapter in national security. Swift justice and bold military action sent an unambiguous message. India's patience had run out. The rules of engagement in South Asia had changed forever.